Hi, everybody. I'm Eric Algett, and welcome back to another edition of Prep Huddle Live on StriveSports.com. Tony Chapman, as always, joins us from Grand Island. September will soon be over as of tonight. Green Day will be awake, and October is nearly here. Like the ad once said, Tony, congratulations, it's cold, and you're still playing. I still love that ad. I think it was Nike. I'm not sure who it was, but I loved that ad. Had Bryce Harper and all the big guys in it. But October is just about here, and we're ready for it.
Yeah, we're officially over halfway now, basically. Football is hitting games 5 for everybody, really, and we'll hit the playoffs by the end of October, which is exciting. We'll hit sub-district volleyball, district volleyball late October, early November, and we'll even crown some state champions in the month of October, so that'll be exciting. Yeah,
softball, girls golf will be going. So it is
cross country,
of course. Yeah. It's a special time by the time we get to October. We always love interacting with everyone on social media during the show, after the show, before the show. Thanks, Tony, for all of those, by the way. It is the Dickey's Barbecue in York social media feed. See that? We use the hashtag PrepHuddleLive, and if you have any comments or questions for us during the show, we'd be happy to try to answer them as best we can. Speaking of the show, it is another big one tonight. We lead off with Burke Brown of NebraskaPrepVolleyball.com. We've got some mid-season thoughts for Burke, and, well, he's going to give us his thoughts. We will also talk about our Channel Seed games of the week. Yes, 2. As Ernie Banks once said, let's play 2. A doubleheader this for us on this Friday with a 6-man battle in the afternoon and an 8-man nightcap. We will talk with the head coach of the defending 6-man state champs, Joe Imus from Riverside, and we will talk with cross-county coach Ty Twarling as well. We will wrap up the show with the Strive 5, the 5 games to check out on their respective Strive channels this Friday night. All of our guests join us via the Truck Center Company's hotline. And our first guest tonight is our esteemed, sometimes he's not, whatever he might be, our colleague, Burke Brown with Nebraska Prep Volleyball. Burke, thanks for joining us tonight.
My pleasure, Eric. I always enjoy it.
Are we doing some T-shirts this week? We had some. I think we might have tried to sneak one. I'm not sure that Colleen really followed through with it, but we're using the hashtag PrepHuddleLive. We were a week ago with the T-shirts anyway.
Yep, well, we can still use them. I still got free.
All right.
So, yep, if we can get some hashtag action, that would be great.
So if you got a volleyball question for Burke, use the hashtag PrepHuddleLive, and a Nebraska Prep Volleyball T-shirt might be coming your way. So, Burke, here we go with the end of September, 1st of October, like we said. The volleyball season is squarely at that halfway point. Talk about some of the matches that you might have seen, some of the tournaments or outstanding performances you've seen over the last week or so.
We talked a little bit about this last time, but one of the great tournaments of the season I really felt like was this past weekend at Grand Island Northwest. They put on a great round-robin tournament. Had SCOTUS, Grand Island Northwest, and Omaha Scud at it. Just 3 very traditional powers. Omaha Scud survived that. They won that tournament going undefeated, but Grand Island Northwest took them to 3 sets. Columbus SCOTUS also took them to 3 sets. Just an incredible tournament, and it's just a great match. I mean, Scud was able to hold off Northwest in a great match. That one wound up 27-29. 25-22, 25-18, and Kylie Broach, who I think continues to be one of the most underestimated just all-purpose players for Grand Island Northwest. She had 14 kills, 19 digs, 20 assists. She went LeBron James there with a triple-double, but Taryn Mayfield was a kid that kind of came out of nowhere in that match. She had 10 kills. She had only had 11 all year coming in, and then Scud is they're an incredible team. Their L1, L2 combo of Brooke Haney, who's a Kansas State recruit, and Alyssa Woodman, who's going to Rockhurst. They had 26 kills. Allie Shomers is a Division I center going to Missouri, Kansas City. She was solid with 40 assists. And Brooke Swain, I think, is one of the best liberos that nobody really talks about at Scott, and she was fantastic as well. And Northwest got second. They beat SCOTUS 2-0 in that match. But give SCOTUS a lot of credit too. They played up a class. They took a set for Omaha Scott, and that was a great match as well. Megan Thorson and Megan Piper both had great matches for SCOTUS in that match. And, Joe Held has done an incredible job at SCOTUS kind of keeping that tradition going after John Peterson left. And it's just incredible when you can get those three quality of programs together. I kind of feel sorry for Hastings and Lexington that kind of came to Custer's last stand there and took part in it. But you know what? I mean, that was just some great volleyball.
Hey, Burke, I might interrupt you guys here. I wanted to get your thoughts. I believe if I read right, I don't think Gretna has lost a set this year. Am I correct there?
You know what? They lost a set very early in the year against Elkhorn South, but now they've rattled off. They have not lost a set since, and I want to say it's close to 30 in a row now that they've won, and they're undefeated. Yep.
And they'd have a chance maybe. I think is there a tournament this weekend where them and Scott could play for the first time this year?
Yes. They and Scott are both at the Skyhawk Invitational, which is a great tournament coming up again this weekend. And in fact, Gretna's got an 18-match winning streak. Scott's at 16. Scott's only loss this year was early in the year against Omaha Marion, number one team in the state. So that's going to be a great matchup. Gretna, again, is going to feature some high-quality Division I athletes. Haley McCardle is quite – you can make a case for her to be the best outside hitter in the state. She's going to Wyoming. They got Amanda Young, who also one of the state's top sprinters, is an incredible libero. Obviously covers a ton of ground. She's going out to Colorado State. So just some great talent out there. And so that'll be a great tournament this weekend as well at Omaha Scott.
Burke, you mentioned that Skyhawk Invitational. We have some good ones on our Strive channels this weekend. Starting with in the smaller classes, Clarkson Lee has a good one. Give us a little preview, if you can, of what we'll see out of that Patriot tournament.
Yeah, that's going to be a great tournament, and I've got to say, I love the fact that you guys, help schools so that they're able to put this stuff out, because if you take the time to watch, you're going to see some great volleyball at Clarkson Lee. And as a guy who kind of cut my teeth with the Fremont Tribune, I'd love to go like Clarkson and Humphrey St. Francis and all those schools. It's a great atmosphere. But there, you've got, along with Clarkson Lee, and they've got a really nice player in Shelby Paprocki, which is also a great name. Humphrey Lindsay Holy Families at 11-5, they're a C2 school that's been very hot as of late. And they have the biggest underestimated players in the state, in Karen Beller. She's going up to Wayne State. Scott Cananfull does an incredible job running a great program up there at Wayne State. And she is legit. She's a Division I caliber player who's staying closer to home. She would be fun to watch. Oakland Craig has been a surprise. They're at 11-4. They've got a really nice team. And then another player that you should really try to watch is from David City Aquinas. That's there. She's Jenna Eller, about a 5'7", small kid, but man, she packs a huge punch. And she's going to Concordia with Coach Scott Matera. And again, another coach doing an incredible job. Concordia's having a great season at NAIA, and lots of times they're building those programs with a lot of these really, really talented Nebraska kids. And so, Jenna Eller will be there with Aquinas, and they're going to be a good team, possibly contend for it. Howells Dodge, they're number 9 in my Class D1 poll. They'll be there. They'll be a very good team. They've got Callie Brewster, who's an incredible player. Of course, you also have Cross County is there, Lions Decatur Northeast, and Pender as well. But that'll be a great tournament, some great matchups there.
And then we go a little bit farther south, closer to our neck of the woods. Sutton Invite is coming up, and Sutton, of course, has had a fantastic year, but some more good competition down there to watch at the Mustangs Invite.
Yeah, absolutely. You never know how the tournaments are going to come out, but if you wind up getting a matchup between Sandy Creek and Sutton, that'll be a great match. I've got Sutton at number 5 in C2 and Sandy Creek at 8. They're 14-2 and 13-3 respectively. That'll be some great volleyball as well. You've got Adams Central there. Adams Central, actually, they're 8-6, but they're in C1, and they just beat Sandy Creek this past weekend. So they're very capable. Probably your best Class D1 school that's there is Blue Hill. They're 8-4, but they have some big matches as well this week before that tournament with Giltner and BDS. But Blue Hill has maybe one of the state's best freshmen, Casey Allen. she's averaging, I think it's just over 3, maybe 3.3 kills a set, which is the top in the state for freshmen. And she's, of course, a daughter of a coach there at Blue Hill. Her sister, Courtney Allen, was a great setter for Blue Hill for many years and is now at Hastings College with Matt Buttermore out there. But the Sandy Creek-Sutton match has the potential to be a great one. There's McKenna and Sydney Price, who are phenomenal for Sutton. Adam Coots does a great job with them. Kaylin Wiseman, I think, is probably one of the best junior liberos in the state for Sutton. And Nicole Keenan is a great setter for them. So they're very strong at the most important positions, libero and setter, and then they've got weapons outside with the Grice sisters. And then for Sandy Creek, Tiffany Schweer and Allison Kuda each have over, I believe, 100 kills. And then they have a Cambria Cohon. And if she's any relation to Peyton Cohon, and that's a pretty rare last name, and then she's going to be a phenomenal player as well. She's just a young player for Sandy Creek. So that Sandy Creek-Sutton matchup could be a fun one to watch if it comes to fruition.
And before I let Tony go again, I apologize. It's the Sutton Phillies when we talk about the girls. Now, Tony, would you like to continue, sir?
All right. Bergo, I know that we've talked about a little conversation we'll have, but I wanted to quickly get you into a Strive school that maybe you had some thoughts on in Meridian. Meridian is 7-5. I believe they're not ranked by the World Herald, but they are ranked 10th by the Lincoln Journal-Star. And I noticed today their 5 losses are 2 to BDS, 2 to Exeter Milligan, and 1 to Freeman. And so they've played a really good schedule. They'll play Diller Odell and Dorchester tomorrow. They've got a Hampton Triangular next week. That sub-district with Hampton, Exeter Milligan, Dorchester, Meridian might be one of the toughest ones probably in the state. But could you talk about Meridian? Do they have a chance to maybe be a team that plays or gives Hampton or Exeter Milligan a fit in the lower classes as the year comes to an end?
Yeah, absolutely. And with as much love as I have for Mike Patterson at the World Herald, despite the fact that he's a Kansas City Royal and Chicago Bears fan, that's maybe one that he and I disagree on. Even at 5-5, I have Meridian ranked 8th in Class D2. They're just too talented, and to let that record deceive you. Riley Piper is a kid that I actually saw for the first time last year at the I guess I have to say it again, a Crossroads tournament. She's just a sophomore, and much like Jenna Eller at Aquinas, she's not very big, but somehow she got the one blessing that I never did, and that's the ability to jump. And she can just crush the ball. She's just a sophomore, fabulous player. They also have an Allison Clip, who I think is about a 5'9" junior. So they've got a lot of young talent. I had a chance to watch them at the Kearney Top 10 camp, which is hosted by Kearney Catholic. And they're a good team, and they're going to be a tough out. And you're exactly right, Tony. I would put that sub-district as probably the toughest sub-district, at least in Class D. Class C, you've got one sub-district that's going to have Columbus SCOTUS, Columbus Lakeview, and North Bend, which is ridiculous. And, of course, Class B's got a district tournament that's got Scott, Elkhorn South, and maybe even Gretna in that, which is just, it's
just
crazy.
Like football,
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, so, thank goodness the NSAA has gone to the sub-state round in Class B. I hope and pray that that's coming in Class C and D in the near future as well, because I think it's desperately needed, because there's such it's just too bad when there's such a cluster of great teams and they're forced to beat up on each other just because of their geographic location.
Yeah. So we wanted to have this conversation. We had a lively debate among our some of our guys that write for the Grand Island Independent last week, because we had a score that came through that was 25-0 in rally scoring last week, and we were talking about what was more impressive, to win 25-0 in side out scoring, or 15-0 or 25-0 in rally scoring, or 15-0 in side out scoring. So I wanted to get your take. Are you a rally guy, or are you a side out guy when it comes to volleyball?
Yeah, that's a great question. And unfortunately, I'm old enough to have lived through both.
Me too.
phases. And if I want to be selfish, I'm going to say rally scoring, because that means I don't get stuck at 4-hour marathon matches.
Right.
I think, if I'm being just truthful, I think that's really the significance behind the change, was trying to keep volleyball matches a little bit more fast-paced, and being able to control the time of them, because there were some days, I should say some nights, you go to a volleyball match between two competitive teams that just don't give up points, and you can be there all night. But I guess I prefer rally scoring. I like the up tempo. I like the pressure on every point. I think it has created a greater sense of urgency, and it's also put a little bit more pressure on the ability to execute and not make mistakes. I mean, all of a sudden now the serving percentage is a lot more important, because teams can score off of your mistakes. So I guess that's why I would go as a rally point guy.
Do you feel like the one thing I probably agree with you. The one thing that to me is the toughest thing about the rally scoring is you don't feel like a comeback is generally available to that team that maybe gets down, like say 21-15 or something like that. If they're down say 12-6 or 12-7 in a side out match, they maybe had a better chance of coming back than if they're down say 21-14 or 21-15 in a rally scoring match. Do you feel like that is maybe one of the disadvantages to rally scoring?
So you're trying to get me to say that I'm wrong? I don't
No,
know.
I'm not.
No, I'm just teasing. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely downsides, and I think that is part of it. You don't see many, guys, even now, if you get a team down 24-20 and you don't close that out, that's almost like considered a collapse, right? I mean, there's not, you're right. The ability to rally, especially in the fifth set, boy, if you get in trouble early in that fifth set where it's just a sprint to 15, it's almost impossible to come back. I mean, it's rare that you get down more than 3 points in that last set and make your way back. And, I will say this, I do think that the rally system does provide an opportunity for more upsets. I think the old side-out scoring, it was, you couldn't just kind of get hot and really put a match away. The better teams, I think, had a better chance of winning matches on a night-out basis, because their talent was just so much better. I mean, not only did you have to get the side out, but then you would have to turn around and score, points off of your serve, and against good teams, that's not easy to do. So I think it's made it harder to come back, but at the same time, I think it's maybe given some of the underdogs a better chance to pull an upset or to take a set or two in places where maybe they wouldn't have before.
I really want to encourage, because this is such a good discussion, want to encourage people to use the hashtag PrepHuddleLive and continue this discussion on Twitter for us and with us. This is a good one. The rally scoring versus side out scoring. It's I really thought, of course, as a guy that was always on the football team, did it really matter to me? No, but I can say, as more from purely a fan perspective, when every serve has a point, the scoreboard's always going, so that makes it more exciting. I suppose it's like football games that are more high scoring or just tend to be more exciting like that. So from my perspective, which is incredibly limited for volleyball, I like the rally scoring.
And I think, Eric, you bring up an excellent point, because I think, the college team transitioned to it first. And I think, that was a big part of it too, as far as just trying to make the sport more marketable. I think from a purist standpoint, the side out is fun to watch, because you're not necessarily concerned about, being in and out within an hour or an hour and a half. From a side out standpoint, I mean, you get maybe some more epic battles. And I think from a pure standpoint, it was the better way to go. But I think from a marketability and attracting more fans to the game. I think that was one of the big reasons behind it, and I think it's been successful for that. So I suppose, like with anything in life, you try to evolve and try and make things more appealing to people. I think that's what the purpose and maybe the result of Riley scoring has done. But, I still remember some of those just incredible matches in the side-out days where just scoring points was like trying to pull teeth. And, but at the same time, I'm also glad that I'm only there for an hour and a half some nights instead of 4.
Hey, Burke, one last question for a part-time writer and Strive guy. I'm not a full-timer like Taylor and Eric are, but got the day off for Friday of state semifinal volleyball. Do I sit somewhere where I can watch both matches, or do I pick pick court A or court B?
The way that they have it set up, I'm a fan of, or I guess if it was up to me, I would sit somewhere on that Friday where you could watch both. I also have ADD, so that's, perfect for me. I can, bounce back and forth. But that is one of the benefits. If you're just going to casually watch, you can sit basically what is center court at Pinnacle Bank Arena. You can see both courts going on, and that's one of the great days of high school volleyball when you've got all that, the semifinal juices flowing and all the emotion, and you've got all the teams there for that one day. That's a great day of volleyball. And I will tell you this, we didn't have it last year, but, they put a huge dividing net up to kind of the scoreboard of Pinnacle Bank Arena. It was one of the things I talked about with Mike Patterson at the World Herald, Ron Powell at the Journal-Star, who the first player is going to be that just pounds a ball off somebody so hard that it goes over that dividing net. It was close a couple times. Carly Remmers at Freeman blasted a couple, but that will be that's one of the things that I'm going to be watching for this year. Can somebody bounce one off somebody's noggin so hard that it goes over the dividing net? That'll be fun to watch. But I'm weird that way.
You know what I hear, ladies out there, is I hear a challenge from Burke. So we'll be looking for that at the state tournament. Burke Brown with NebraskaPrepVolleyball.com. It's a fantastic website. If you have not been on it, you have missed out on a lot of activities so far and a lot of great stuff on there. Joins us on the Truck Center Company's hotline. Burke, always a pleasure. Thanks a lot, man.
Hey, my pleasure. Keep up the great work, guys.
All right. Well, Tony, we want to revisit now last week, and what we saw was some great games and some great performances. We've got football, we've got girls golf, we've got volleyball. We've got a little bit of everything in our Strive Stars. So tell us, who shined brightest last week?
We'll see how fast I can do this because Burke and I love to talk, so we're a little past time here. So we'll start out west at Dundee County Stratton. Their girls golf team set a school record on Monday when they won the Sutherland Invitational with a team score of 372. This is a team that did qualify for state last year, so looking good again for the Tigers team members: Faley Sanford, Madison Haynes, Hallie Waters, and Peyton Zarkowski. Those are some familiar basketball names to me as well. We shall stay at Dundee County Stratton for Madison Lamley. Madison won the UNK Invitational on Monday at the state tournament cross-country course at Kearney Country Club in Class C. She had a time of 19 minutes, 41.3 seconds, was a minute faster than runner-up Katie Cumpston from Strive School, Nebraska Christian. We'll go to Milford. Ty Lasco, who's a 7 seconds, and the Eagles look poised to win their 4th straight state championship there. They won the Class C division. In volleyball, we're going to go to Aurora for Kylie Hickson, the senior South Dakota recruit. She had 22 kills, 15 digs, and 4 ace serves last night as Aurora topped Class A number 10, Lincoln Pius, 3-1. On the season, Kylie has 229 kills for the Huskies, who are 15-3. They also won their home invitational on Saturday. All right, let's get into the football. We had some good performances on Friday night. We will start for Clarkson Lee with Kobe Paprocki and Brad Bunner, they had a big night. It's very rare you see Howells Dodge get beat, let alone get beat 46-6 by Clarkson Lee. Paprocki had 11 carries for 174 yards, 4 touchdown runs, 12, 36, 32, and 31. 5 of 7 passing for 140 yards and another score. Brad Bunner had 154 yards on 14 carries, scoring runs of 55 and 44 yards. But listen to this, Eric, 24 tackles for Bunner and also an interception. Another big one for Clarkson Lee, who enters the rankings this week. They will host Fullerton on Friday. We go to Milford Dorchester for Cam Carrot. He had 5 touchdowns in the Eagles' 41-6 win over Fairbury, had scoring runs of 3, 8, 92, and 14 yards, and he added a 21-yard interception return in the second half that put the game away. The Eagle defense limited Fairbury's Jacob Johnson to just 49 yards on 12 carries. We go to Giltner, where Sam Zeleny and Sean Maxon led the Exeter Milligan Timberwolves to a 16-14 win over the Hornets. Zeleny had 110 yards on 26 carries and scored on runs of 1 and 2 yards. Maxon added 108 yards on 22 attempts, and Exeter Milligan will host number 9, Lawrence Nelson, this week in another big D2 match. To our game of the week at Grand Island Northwest, we're going to honor Christian Ellsworth and Brooke Brown. Ellsworth did it all. He had 32 carries for 170 yards in the 38-35 win, 2 touchdowns on the ground, added 3 touchdowns through the air on a 19 of 29 passing night for 220 yards. Then it was Brown who was a monster on defense. From his defensive end spot, he had 16 tackles, and his sack of Trayston Halley in the final minute on a first down play set Scottsbluff up in about a 2nd and 14, and they weren't able to get a first down to keep the game going. A big play for the Vikings in that one. Last but not least, we will go to St. Edward, where Jake Kennedy and Noah Velasic from Riverside, the 2 All-Staters, had great games in the battle for the paddle. Kennedy ran 106 yards, 10 carries, touchdown runs of 4, and 36 yards. And he also had an 8-yard reception from Velasic. And Noah had 167 yards on 15 carries, 2 touchdowns, plus 10 tackles on defense. I am excited to see the Chargers on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, Friday afternoon, the Chargers and Deshler will be one of our games of the week, presented by Channel Seed. Cross County hosts High Plains in the nightcap in a good 8-man match. So we're looking forward to that. By the way, if you missed one of the Strive Stars or want to read a little bit more about them, we will have a post tomorrow on Strive Sports that has the list of the Strive Stars. And we would accept, by the way, nominations. If there's someone that perhaps we have overlooked this year on a sport, any sport here in the fall season that needs some extra recognition, perhaps it's possible that we might have missed one. So tweet us at Strive Sports. Doesn't necessarily have to be a Strive school either. We do the Strive Stars. We'll point you out if you shine bright enough. We'll find you some way, shape, or form. By the way, I want to get back to real quick before we go to a commercial break. We said you can use the hashtag PrepHuddleLive and ask Burke a question. We got a legit question, and it was from Alex Stoker there in Grand Island. He wanted to know about the Northwest Vikings volleyball team making it back to state, and of course now we've let Burke go, so we'll have to let Burke just answer that on Twitter through the hashtag PrepHuddleLive. And then, of course, my brother likes rally scoring all the way. He's got even less volleyball experience than I do. So, that doesn't – and it's not a question, so it doesn't count, so he doesn't get a T-shirt. That's how that goes. Still to come on Prep Huddle Live, we will talk with Riverside coach Joe Imus, Cross County coach Ty Twarling, and the Strive 5. So stay with us. We'll be back.
Yeah, I get it. For the little things. Technology's great. It makes things easier. It's faster. We can get things done wherever we go. And we get all that from our bank. It works for us. But for the bigger things, the things that really count, I still want to talk to the people I know and trust. That's why I'm here.
I love it. It's fun. It's a fun industry to be in. Meet lots of different people, do lots of different stuff. There's always something new happening, so.
So far I've been enjoying it since I've been here. It's been great, learning new stuff every day. I recommend anyone coming and work here because so far the working environment's friendly, everyone's kind, and also the new guys that come here, they'll gain the confidence that they need just to come and work.
I like how everybody around here is, we all kind of become real good friends. It's like a second family here. It's not something you would come to just work for a month or two. It's something you'll want to stick with forever.
Seedsmanship is what truly sets Channel Seed apart from other seed brands. It's our unmatched ability to provide you with the expert advice and customized service that helps you get the most yield out of your acres. It's the added value of year-round service combined with elite seed products that you only get from Channel Seed. At Channel, we know the importance of staying connected. As seed experts, we look to get the most out of your fields by putting ourselves in them throughout the season. That's seedsmanship at work. Home-cooked favorites and online ordering so you can skip the line. That's what you'll find at Dickey's Barbecue in York. Log on to dickeys.com, select the York address, sign in, or create a profile, and you'll be ordering delicious barbecue in just seconds. Choose from a variety of meats like brisket, pulled pork, chicken breast, or sausage. Add a home-style side like waffle iron fries, fried onion tanglers, barbecue beans, and even fried okra. You won't go away hungry. Try Dickey's Barbecue today and log on to dickeys.com. Kids eat free on Sundays. Prep Huddle Live on StriveSports.com. Thanks for watching us here tonight. It's a very special week for our game of the week because it is Twins. It's a doubleheader matchup this Friday. It begins with Deschler at Riverside for a six-man battle. That is a 2:30 kickoff. And then we will hightail it to Cross County High School, where the Cougars are hosting High Plains in an 8-man game for our nightcap. That game is set for a 7 o'clock kickoff. So we start with our coaching interviews with the afternoon tilt. Riverside hosting Deschler, the #1 team in the state in Class 6-man, and we are joined by Riverside coach Joe Imus. Coach, thanks a lot for the time here tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
First of all, before we get into what's coming up this week, we want to talk real quick about last week's matchup with St. Ed. In what we found out after the fact, after we had talked to Jeremy Jones, the St. Ed coach, last week, we find out about this battle for the paddle. And sometimes coaches aren't, real big on rivalry. Give us a little bit of background for the battle for the paddle.
Well, when Riverside entered into six-man, St. Ed approached us, and we're only 13 miles away, and with six-man, you're traveling 6-8 hours sometimes to play games. So since we were right in each other's backyard, they approached us about having a traveling trophy. It's the paddle. One side of it's maroon with St. Ed's logo, the other is blue with Riverside's logo, and whoever wins each year gets to hang that trophy up in their school, and that's what we've been doing the last 2 years.
Is it like a not like a tennis racket, like a ping pong battle, or what?
No, it's like a paddle you'd use in a boat.
Oh, okay.
So.
Even better. I'm very intrigued. We're going to have to get a picture of this at some point. So now let's go to the actual crux of why we want to talk. Expectations for this season obviously had to be very high for you guys. You returned 3 All-Staters from a state championship team last year. How did the guys kind of handle that part of it, knowing that they had the targets maybe squarely on their backs when they started this season?
Well, yeah, like you said, coming into the season having 3 first-team All-Staters, we knew expectations were going to be pretty high. And like you said with the target, we even made shirts that has a big old bullseye on the back, and letting our kids know we have a huge target on our back. And it doesn't matter who we're playing, what week it is, that everybody wants to kind of upend us. But having those 3 returning All-Staters is good and everything, but you need more than just 3 guys to win a game. And they've had a number of guys step up, and we were hoping we could get a role player 2 out of a couple of them. And turns out a lot of these guys have stepped up in the starting spots or in our rotation. I mean, they're turning into potential All-State players. So we've gotten a lot more out of our other guys than we kind of expected.
Coach, just briefly tell us about, Noah Velasic seems to be doing a great job for you. He's kind of maybe your guy that you would tout maybe on the offensive side of the ball. And then you have Jake Kennedy, who's probably one of the best defenders in the state and might not even be in 6-man. I mean, that kid looks like he could play all the way up to Class A football. Those 2 guys, can you talk about them and what they mean to your team? And then the fact that, I think if I'm right, you get to coach them one more year after this one too.
All right. Well, Kennedy, he's a senior, so
okay, I
he'll be
missed
done
one.
after this
Sorry.
year. Velocity junior. Noah, he's kind of our go-to guy on offense. He's got a great arm, and it kind of helps out. He's got a lot of targets to throw to, including a 6'5" target, which isn't always a bad thing. We try getting the ball in his hands quite a bit, and he always has a lot of run and pass options, and he's got a really high IQ, so kind of advance a lot of the things that we do to make it more difficult. So he has a lot of reads. If he sees somebody open, he could turn it into a pass. If it isn't even an option. So he's got a lot of responsibility, and he enjoys it. He's a competitor, and he does a good job with it. Then on the defensive side, Jake Kennedy, he's our defensive leader last year. He was the 6-man defensive player of the year, and even having a better year this year. And like you said, he could play at a bigger level, and I don't know if he's really interested in going to college, but he could play somewhere like a UNK or a Shattern, and he just has that size, and he's tougher than any kid I've ever been around, and he loves to hit. So having those guys, one that's just dynamic on offense, the other who's relentless on defense, it's a really good combination to have on a team.
Coach, you've scored 60 twice, you've scored 70 twice. I think you've only given up 21 time in 4 games. So it appears obviously that you're headed toward another playoff berth. I know you're a 1 game at a time guy, but what are some things you guys are working on as the season kind of hits the back half here that you're kind of want to get cleaned up before the playoffs get going end of October, early November?
We played pretty well up to this point in 4 games, and there's a lot of things we can get a lot better at. And like I told the kids this week, as soon as you feel comfortable, you get vulnerable, and once you're vulnerable, you get upset. So we're working hard on conditioning and staying in shape. A lot of our starters, they don't get to see a fourth quarter, or sometimes most of a third quarter. So we don't want to get into the playoffs and get into one of those situations a lot of teams get into where their kids aren't used to playing an entire game. And also, too, our execution on offense, not as good as it can be at times, and we'll pick that up a little bit. And finally, on defense, we're a pretty good open field tackling team right now, but we still have given up a touchdown or 2 by missing an open field tackle. So we'll continue to work on all those things.
Coach, you got a Deshler team coming up this week. They got their first win last week over Santee, but their 3 losses are to teams with a combined 11-1 record. What kind of challenges do the Dragons pose to you guys?
Well, Deshler, they have an athletic team. They've got a couple playmakers that if you don't respect them, they can be really dangerous. And one thing that's a little different watching some tape on Deshler, they do a lot of unique things I don't think we've ever seen before since we've been at 6-man. And it appears if they execute them correctly, they could be pretty dangerous. So Deshler's a team we're definitely not going to be overlooking. And also it's our homecoming and an afternoon game, so it's going to be a really odd Friday. I don't think our kids even go to school. They're doing festivities all day. So hopefully their minds are on the game, and that's another thing that we need to overcome.
Well, Coach, I know we will probably talk again during basketball season, so we want to wish you the best of luck by the time we get there. But looking forward to one on Friday afternoon. Thanks a lot for taking some time with us today.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, well, speaking of the Channel Seed Game of the Week, that is, of course, one of them, Riverside hosting Deshler, the 2:30 game. But right now, let's go back to last week because we had a fantastic one. We could call it a Strive Instant Classic and not hesitate. At Grand Island Northwest, Scotts Bluff came to town, ranked number 7 by the Omaha World Herald, and back and forth it went. It was like a heavyweight fight, trading what seemed like haymaker blows throughout the night, and it came down to a field goal and a stand there in the fourth quarter. So here's the highlights from last week's Channel Seed Game of the Week. Brooke Brown is back deep for the Vikings. He's not going to get a chance, though. One of the upmen is going to take this from about the 27-yard line and plow out across the 35 near the 37. Not a great snap from center. Ellsworth has pressure, got a great block in the backfield, throws it deep, and it's caught. It's a big pass play down the near side, and it was caught there by Brandon Gannon. Not quite goal to go, apparently. Ellsworth just wants the quarterback draw right up the gut, and he's got the touchdown. An impressive one. And from Chubbs, right?
Yes, that is his nickname.
That's Chubbs. A wing and a fullback in front. They want the power back to the left side. Quarterback going forward. He's got the touchdown run. Coach Stein saying that, we'll play 11 offensive linemen. That'll get a good test of the defense as well. And a nice roll and pass by Ellsworth and the touchdown. Preston Sundermeyer, by the way, your kicker. That one booted nicely, and the kick is good. Alex, I can't really see very good. Can you describe the play? Do some play-by-play for us here. Big couple of downs for the Viking defense. Really? Go with it. I can't see very good.
All right. Gonna hand it off, and number 22, don't remember his name, takes it up the center for the Scottsbluff touchdown.
Good snap, good hold, wobbly kick, but good. And we're tied up at 14. Ellsworth just wants it, left side, plow, got it, touchdown.
And here comes the rain.
It's raining. Johnston to his right. Give it to Johnston on the power play, left side, foot race to the near side end zone. He's got it, touchdown. 6 plays that Scottsbluff has run so far in the game. Big play for the Northwest defense, though. Haley, hard count again. Finally takes a snap, just goes forward, and he's not going to make it. Great defensive stand by the Northwest Vikings. And Ellsworth still tries that 3-man front with 3 linebackers. Now he will look to throw. The slant pass is caught for the touchdown. And you run slants behind that, hoping that the defenders kind of run into themselves. Yeah. They really didn't there, but it was still a good throw and a great catch by Mettenbrink. Been a 3-and-out and a 4-and-out so far. Brad Johnston, the tailback, getting the call. He's cutting through, dragging defenders, and still on his feet. Now it's a foot race. Far sideline, Johnston 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Brad Johnston, that will cover 71 yards. What a fantastic game we have had here tonight. Isaiah Ingram for the extra point attempt. Good snap. Hold got down, and an excellent kick. That is good. We are tied up at 28 apiece, so it will be a 29-yard field goal attempt from the near hash mark for Preston Sundermeyer. He was just shy at the end of the first half from 47 yards. Would have been good from 45. Let's see what he's got from 29. Nice and high, end over end, and good. Big field goal there from Chubbs, making it Northwest 31, Scottsbluff 28. Trayston Haley hands it off, and that is Johnston, and he is gone again.
That kid can run.
From his own 16, let's call it 84 yards on the run by Brad Johnston. 71 and 84 yards of the touchdown runs for Brad Johnston. That extra point kick is up and good by Isaiah Ingram. Certainly the spot on the field where Ellsworth really likes to keep it down here. Just follow a fullback and get up the field. He wants to throw it on first down, though, and it is caught. Oh, what a catch in the back corner of the end zone. Beautiful job by Isaiah Dawes. That was one of those back shoulder fades that's got a little mustard behind it. And Isaiah got his hands up just in time to snag that thing in the back corner for a lead for Northwest and the all-important extra point from Chubbs. Snap gets put down by Ellsworth. The kick is up and good. Here's your ball game, or a chance at it. Haley will take the snap. Quarterback right all the way. Oh, he got tackled quickly. Oh, he got popped right at the line of scrimmage. If that ready for play comes at 30 seconds, well, then if you're Northwest, you just want to be kind of slow getting up. And how about just a big first down run? To heck with all the clock management. That's your ball game right there. Christian Ellsworth just put this one on ice. That's your ball game. What a fantastic game in Grand Island tonight. Grand Island Northwest 38, Scotts Bluff 35. Like we said, it was a fantastic game there in Grand Island last week. A huge thank you to Colleen and to Heather and the Northwest Strive crew for letting us come in for the Channel Seed Game of the Week. We encourage tweeting on the hashtag PrepHuddleLive. Don't forget you can join the conversation. Rally scoring is the topic of conversation in volleyball if you want to join us for that. Alex wants to know about Northwest Vikings volleyball making it back to state, and my brother prefers rally scoring. Well, tell him he's wrong. I do that all the time. It's fine. He'll take it. He won't take it personal at all. We're going to take another commercial break. When we come back, Cross County coach Ty Twarling will be on the show, and we'll get to the Strive 5 as well. You are watching Prep Huddle Live on StriveSports.com.
I never really imagined that I would be a diesel technician. I started out in a whole different other field and then kind of worked my way and stumbled my way into it, and I enjoy every day of it.
The people that I work with are great. Even if you're having a bad day, they find some way to try to make you laugh or smile to try to brighten your day up. It'd be a life-changing opportunity. So there's a lot of good things that this company has to offer.
Home-cooked favorites and online ordering so you can skip the line. That's what you'll find at Dickey's Barbecue in York. Log on to Dickeys.com, select the York address, sign in, or create a profile, and you'll be ordering delicious barbecue in just seconds. Choose from a variety of meats like brisket, pulled pork, chicken breast, or sausage. Add a home-style side like waffle iron fries, fried onion tanglers, barbecue beans, and even fried okra. You won't go away hungry. Try Dickey's Barbecue today and log on to Dickeys.com. Kids eat free on Sundays. Seedsmanship is what truly sets Channel Seed apart from other seed brands. It's our unmatched ability to provide you with the expert advice and customized service that helps you get the most yield out of your acres. It's the added value of year-round service combined with elite seed products that you only get from Channel Seed. At Channel, we know the importance of staying connected. As seed experts, we look to get the most out of your fields by putting ourselves in them throughout the season. That's seedsmanship at work.
Yeah, I get it. For the little things. Technology's great. It makes things easier. It's faster. We can get things done wherever we go. And we get all that from our bank. It works for us. But for the bigger things, the things that really count, I still want to talk to the people I know and trust. That's why I'm here.
We are into the home stretch of Prep Huddle Live here on StriveSports.com. We've talked volleyball, we've talked Strive Stars, we've talked some football, so we're going back to football is what we're doing with the Channel Seed Game of the Week. Games of the week. The doubleheader, we mentioned the six-man matchup with Riverside hosting Deschler at 2:30. The nightcap is Cross County hosting High Plains in a 7 o'clock kickoff, and we are joined by the head coach of Cross County, Ty Twarling, whose Cougars are off to a 3-1 start. Coach, thanks a lot for taking some time out on a Wednesday night for us.
Hey, no problem. Just appreciate you guys giving me a call.
Absolutely. Obviously, it's been a nice start for the season for you guys. 3 points away from a 4-0 start, a real close loss to Howells Dodge. Talk about the season so far and how you've seen the guys play.
We've really progressed well. These guys are really, they've worked on the weight room. Physically, we're looking really good. It's just been honing in on our technique and making sure that we're sound in our assignments. And now it's just continuing to learn how to win, and especially in a tough game like we faced against Hell's Dodge, getting them in a position, I think that helped them, and they kind of understood what it's going to take to win those close games after that one.
Coach, you've got just 2 seniors on the team this year, but you've got obviously a very strong junior class. Tell us about the leadership that the seniors provide and even some of those juniors. And do you feel like maybe this year you're actually maybe ahead of schedule with these guys in their development with the start you've had?
Absolutely. We do have 3 seniors, but those guys have really developed well for us. Starting out, these 3 seniors, we really sat down and said, hey, we need to have their leadership this year because there is a low number of guys in that class. But they've really stepped up. Every game they continue to find themselves and continue to develop their leadership in a way that's going to help this team and, just finding their own style. With our juniors, big group of guys, very athletic group of guys in that junior class. They're still kind of finding their way. But, again, like I said with our seniors, every week they just continue to find ways that they're comfortable in the way they want to lead and push this team and each other to get better.
Coach, I want to know what went through your head, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the Class C 400-meter champion played football for you last fall. So what went through your head when Aaron Janau decided he wanted to come play football and he's able to be your quarterback this year?
Well, it was his freshman year that he didn't go out, and, we had him the last 2 years, and every year that kid just, impresses me with his speed, obviously, but his attitude, his work ethic. We switched him from last year. He played receiver for us, and we moved him to quarterback, and, that kid dove in headlong just like he does when he runs. He gives you everything he got. And he's really dived into this quarterback. He went to a few quarterback camps for us. We had him work on his passing. So the kid just, his speed is just amazing when you watch him on the field. But I think his dedication and his will to get better, it just really makes him a special kid.
Coach, I grew up in Hampton, so I know how important football is in Polk County, and it's kind of a neat time. High Plains is playing well. You guys are playing well. Even Osceola is ranked in Class D too. Do you get a sense that these kids from all of these towns they maybe feed off each other's success a little bit?
They do. It really pushes the kids. They've got a very friendly rivalry in Polk County, with the schools being so close. It's great when you see other schools doing well. That pushes your kids, and it just really creates that friendly rivalry. And going into High Plains, those guys have been phenomenal last 5-6 years, and it just kind of feeds our kids. They want to push themselves to get better, just like High Plains has been, and then Osceola. It's just really neat to experience that and watch these kids. Even though they compete hard on the court or on the field, they really interact well, and it's just fun to see that.
I've got a question for both Coach and Tony. Like Tony said, he's kind of from that neck of the woods. With the consolidations that have happened, Tony especially probably could have played 4 games against the 2 teams that are just playing against each other on Friday night, right? I mean, that was back in the day. That was half your schedule was just going to Polk County, right, Tone?
Well, actually, we would have played Benedict. Stromsburg would have been 11-man, though, when I was in high school. So, but, yeah, I would have played Polk, Cordville, and Benedict probably when I was in high school. But Clark's was in a different conference, so we didn't even see Clark's. So,
well, in any of that, it seems like with the consolidations, because it does happen all over the state all the time, it seems like hearing Tony talk and hearing Coach talk that it certainly hasn't diminished any school pride. In fact, it maybe has done more to build it up. How would you say that, Coach?
Oh, it really has. I just, you look at Osceola and High Plains, they have a ton of school pride in what they do, and that just right there gives you, from the outside looking in, you just love seeing that with those small schools, and it helps our kids, too, to see that you know what, even though you're small, you can still just have all that pride and continue just to get those state champions like High Plains did in basketball and their success that they've had in football. So it's fun to see, and I know our kids love competing against them because when they compete at a high level, that's just going to make everybody just so much better.
Now let's talk a little bit more about High Plains. Obviously, they might have the most difficult schedule in Class D1. They're ranked 8th with a record of 2-2. You don't normally see that, but obviously they've put some points on the board. They have taken some really good teams right to the wire and pushed them to the edge. What concerns you most about this game coming up Friday?
their athleticism. They are just overall, when you look at them from their offensive line, defensive line, their specialties guys, very athletic. And the next thing is their coaches have done a great job with their scheme. They get those kids in space, and when you put athletic kids in space, good things are going to happen, and that's so true with them. They just try to get their athletes in space and make you have to one-on-one either block them or try to tackle them. It just is going to be a difficult task, and that just is going to be really a tough game for us in that aspect.
Talk about the atmosphere at Cross County. When you're not in a specific town, you're kind of isolated a little bit. What is that like to be kind of, I don't want to say out there in no man's land, but where it's literally the only thing that anyone else is doing within a few miles is going to that football game?
It's been great. When you have the communities of Strongsburg and Benedict, they have really come together, both communities, and they support these kids, with that building they built, and then just the people coming out, and both communities that have a strong tradition with football, and they just continue to show that, and it's just fun to see, the old purple and the old red people when they come in and they're cheering for the Navy. It's a lot of fun, and it just builds your heart for these kids to be able to experience that from both communities.
Well, Coach, thanks so much for taking some time, and good luck on Friday. We look forward to a fantastic one when High Plains comes to Cross County.
Oh, I sure appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
That's Coach Ty Twarling, head coach of the Cross County Cougars, and joining us, of course, via the Truck Center Company's hotline. All right, Tony, we're in the final stretch with just a few minutes left in our show here tonight. It is time for the Strive 5, and fun stuff. We have got some fun stuff for you tonight, folks. 5 games that you will want to watch on their respective Strive channels on the host schools, unless otherwise noted, page. And I think, are we ready there, Taylor?
I forgot.
No, we're not ready.
I forgot your audio, but hold on 1 second.
Okay.
You're going to have to do it.
I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to give away my secret now, aren't I?
Yes. Hold on 1 second.
Well, wait for Taylor. This is the part of the show that makes it so much fun to be live. And especially, it's we got tunes. All right, I like that. You see, I did the radio thing. So normally I'm just going through this, but now we've got producer Ed Taylor, and it makes it a lot more fun. But I think we're ready now, right? Number 5, Bridgeport at 3-2 is on the road to Class C2 number 9, North Platte St. Pat's. The Irish 4-1. On their season. Tony?
Big one for the Bulldogs, and one I think they can get. This is a positioning game for the playoffs, and I think it should be fun. The wishbone from Bridgeport and North Platte St. Pat's likes to spread it out maybe just a little bit more. Anxious to see how this one turns out in North Platte. It should be a good game.
Number 4, Howells Dodge is 2-2. They are at Nebraska Christian 3-1.
Well, all of a sudden, this is a big game for Howells Dodge. They've lost 2 in a row to Guardian Angels Central Catholic, and then they lost last week to Clarkson Lee. So they traveled to Nebraska Christian, and Nebraska Christian is 3-1. Their only loss was the first game of the year to East Butler. So a game that both teams probably feel like they need to maybe put themselves in position to host a playoff game in that round of 32 and 8-man.
Number 3, Southwest High School at 3-1. They are at Wallace, also 3-1.
Bonus points, Eric, if you can tell me where Southwest is.
Oh, I just looked at that too.
Bartley.
Republican Valley
and Bartley. Yes, exactly. There you go. The Rough Riders are 3-1, and they will travel to Wallace Strive School, who's also 3-1. And one of these teams, again, this is much like that Howells Dodge Nebraska Christian game. Somebody's going to get to 4-1 and kind of have an inside seat into hosting a playoff game come the end of October.
By the way, want to point out that, on the host schools page, so we're looking at the Wallace page, Nebraska Christian, that Bridgeport at North Platte St. Pat's game will be on the Bridgeport Strive channel. They do a fantastic job with picking things up this year, and they're doing a lot of road games, so that will be Bridgeport at North Platte St. Pat's on the Bridgeport Strive channel. On we go. Number 2. Fullerton is 3-1 in Class D1. They are at number 9, Clarkson Lee, who is 4-0.
Well, I'm really excited to see how this one goes. And I know, Eric, you're going to have Coach Jim Clarkson from Clarkson Lee on the Friday Night Spotlight this week, and that'll be fun. This was one I saw last year. We did this one in Fullerton, and Fullerton really kind of punched Clarkson Lee in the mouth early, and I believe got about a 56-14 kind of win, somewhere in that neighborhood. Of course, Garrett Sondrup is gone. Gage Horacek is gone for Fullerton, but they've got all of their interior line back, and then again, two great skill players at Clarkson Lee, and Brad Bunner is a real deal. We saw him run at state track last year. He's got close to 700 yards already in 4 games. A big one for Clarkson Lee is they position themselves as well for the playoffs in that tough district. Howells Dodge and Nebraska Christian also in that district, so you can kind of see the teams that are jockeying for position there.
Number 1. In Class C2, number 7, Donovan Trumbull at 4-1 is at number 3 and undefeated at 5-0 Sutton. The Mustangs. The
Mustangs, yes, correct. This one, I think, is going to say punch the table here. This one is going to be really fun. Braden Shupin is the name to remember for Donovan Trumbull. They're going to attack out of the spread. They are, I kind of liken them a little bit, Eric, to an Ohio State, where they're a spread team, but I think they'd rather be run first. So you're going to get a lot of zone read. And Sutton, we know what Sutton's going to do. They're just going to run it right at you. So this should be a game that probably sees, I would guess, 600 to 650 yards rushing in this one. I see a high 30s, high 20s type football game going. It's going to be back and forth. And Sutton needs this one to kind of stay up with Hastings St. Cecilia, who has already beat Donovan Trumbull. And this is a big one in that district, and will come through who sees probably a home game in the playoffs as well in this one.
All right, that is it for our Strive 5, and it will be much better next time. We will get the kids out of here a little earlier, and it will work much better. But Tony, our time is almost wrapped up. Parting thoughts as we get out of here tonight.
Well, I was kind of looking at some playoff scenarios today, and I thought it just interesting really quickly. Class B, 7 of the 10 ranked teams in Class B right now are in 2 districts, so those districts will be really fun to see how those start unfolding next week. Of course, you get the West Omaha district, as we call it, and now the District 6 out here with York and Aurora and Seward and Northwest has 3 ranked teams, so it'll be interesting how that one shakes out. And then again, these big games with High Plains and Clarkson Lee in D1 and Howells Dodge, Nebraska Christian will be interesting. So going to be a fun Friday. I'm excited for the doubleheader, the day off, and get to do some road tripping with you guys.
Yeah, we're going to be, we'll be at Riverside hosting Deschler. That game is in Spalding at 2:30 kickoff on Friday. Then we hightail it to Cross County High School as they host High Plains for a 7 o'clock kickoff. So it should be a lot of fun. I'm sure there will be a plethora of media, whether it's the live game on the Riverside channel and on the Cross County channel. I'm sure there will be plenty of tweets, perhaps an on-the-drive periscope between games, perhaps a post-game. Who knows? We could do, the possibilities are endless when you do a doubleheader type thing like this. And, other places might cover 2 games in a night. How many places, though, have the same crew cover both games in a night? I challenge you for that. So we will say that is it for tonight. Thanks again to our sponsors, Cornerstone Bank, Truck Center Companies, Dickey's Barbecue in York, and Channel Seed. Thanks for those that tweeted tonight using the hashtag PrepHuddleLive. Alex, I believe we will get a hold of Burke and let him know that a T-shirt needs to head your way. Don't forget, Friday Night Spotlight will be coming up on Friday. You can also catch a replay of this tonight's show on Strive Sports, and don't forget, we will have the Strive Stars post tomorrow on StriveSports.com. Thanks for watching us on Prep Huddle Live on a Wednesday night. Have a great week, everybody.
Yeah, I get it. For the little things. Technology's great. It makes things easier. It's faster. We can get things done wherever we go. And we get all that from our bank. It works for us. But for the bigger things, the things that really count, I still want to talk to the people I know and trust. That's why I'm here.
Home-cooked favorites and online ordering so you can skip the line. That's what you'll find at Dickey's Barbecue in York. Log on to Dickeys.com, select the York address, sign in, or create a profile, and you'll be ordering delicious barbecue in just seconds. Choose from a variety of meats like brisket, pulled pork, chicken breast, or sausage. Add a home-style side like waffle iron fries, fried onion tanglers, barbecue beans, and even fried okra. You won't go away hungry. Try Dickey's Barbecue today and log on to Dickeys.com. Kids eat free on Sundays. Seedsmanship is what truly sets Channel Seed apart from other seed brands. It's our unmatched ability to provide you with the expert advice and customized service that helps you get the most yield out of your acres. It's the added value of year-round service combined with elite seed products that you only get from Channel Seed. At Channel, we know the importance of staying connected. As seed experts, we look to get the most out of your fields by putting ourselves in them throughout the season. That's seedsmanship at work.
I love it. It's fun. It's a fun industry to be in. Meet lots of different people, do lots of different stuff. There's always something new happening,
So far I've been enjoying it since I've been here. It's been great, learning new stuff every day. I recommend anyone coming and work here because so far the working environment's friendly, everyone's kind, and also the new guys that come here, they will gain the confidence that they need just to come and work.
I like how everybody around here is, we all kind of become real good friends. It's like a second family here. It's not something you would come to just work for a month or two. It's something you'll want to stick with forever.